So I thought in this video I would start to share some of the new decks in my collection. Now, to be honest, I have not been really buying very many decks, probably now for well over a year. My collection is massive. In fact, if you want to watch me sort my decks, I've recently got rid of furniture and I'm struggling to find somewhere to put my deck, so I might bring a entire collection video soon. So I'm running out of space and I don't really want any more decks, but I have bought a few decks which I haven't really shared. So I thought, rather than getting them all out and it taking forever, I would just share a deck at a time and just give my initial reaction, because I bought some and I haven't even used them yet. That's how kind of disinterested in new stuff that I've been at the moment. So I'm back on my tarot channel. I am back trying to get back into my tarot practice, which I've had a break from. So why don't I just look at these new decks and see if it can spark the reset button that I want. It's spring, it's time for a tarot reset. So this is going to be my series of tarot reset videos, starting with some new decks. So I'm going to share this one. This is Isa Beniston and the Gentle Thrills Tarot. So this says that it is whimsical. It has wondrous and whimsical messages rooted in traditional tarot archetypes. This deck offers bold and fresh artwork in saturated colour to catch the attention of the modern tarot reader. The simple beginner-friendly guidebook includes 2 words for each card meaning, one for the upright and one for reversals, as well as the astrological and elemental correlations. So what pulled me into buying this deck? I think just the really bold artwork was the thing that kept catching my attention. It's a deck that I've kept going back to, and I'm still not quite sure, because the thing that I think I might love about this, the artwork and the boldness and the patterns, is also the thing that actually I might not like about this as well. It might be too much, if that makes sense. So we're going to go through it. It's a Hay House deck. I also got it, I think I've had this, wow, getting on for a year now. I'm sure this was in the Hay House sale and it was cheap enough for me to risk giving it a go. So we've got the inside of the box, very patterned 2-part box. Here's your guidebook. Oh my gosh, it is a really simple guidebook. You do literally have just 2 words. So the 4 of Swords is rest and exhaustion. The 3 of Swords, sorrow and setback. Okay, what about the majors? Let's have a look. Yeah, again, just 2 words. Incredibly simple. These are the backs of the cards. Right, I'm just going to go through this with you guys and see what you think. And I'm going to try and evaluate this as well. So the Fawn, I like the fact that you've got some tarot correspondence in there. You've got the White Rose. So on the full card in the guidebook, you've got beginnings and recklessness are the keywords. You've also got these glyphs here. I am terrible at remembering what all of these symbols are. I just cannot remember it. And I've looked in the guidebook and it doesn't tell you in the guidebook. And you can see you've got one of them on there. Wish there was a code somewhere. I do like the strange faces. And again, you can see you've got the tarot correspondences in there. The High Priestess, love that one. And the Empress with her shield. You've got some of the stars. Not all of the stars are there, but you've got some of the stars. The Emperor, a feminine Emperor. So is this all going to be female? We will wait and see. Is there enough for me to pull out of that? I mean, once you know your obvious tarot meaning, then you've got that in there. I love the keys as earrings. Got all of this iconography from the Rider-Waite is in there as costume. I love that. Female, 2 females in the Lovers. I do like that as well. And you've got the chariot, so you can see you've got the horns, you've got the stars, you've got wheels depicted here. There is stuff in there to pull from. Strength. I love that strength card. I love that creature in the strength card. And the hermit, look at that hermit card. I think that's fabulous. You've got the lantern in the hermit card. The Wheel of Fortune with its animals in the corners. Justice here. You haven't got balance scales in this. You've got the scales all wonky and the dagger in her hand. But you can see why I loved it. I loved the imagery. Man, but it's called the Traitor. That is, I'm not sure about that title, you know, for the Hanged Man. Let's see what the booklet says about the Traitor card. So it's surrender or stalling. I don't know where the keyword traitor comes from. Not sure. I do like the death card. I think that's fabulous. Temperance, like this. The devil. I love the devil card. You've got chains here that aren't quite joined. They're not joined if you look. With bats flying out of the tower. You've got the lightning. You've got a depiction of some form of rocks there. You haven't got the people falling. You've got bats, so there isn't like the consequence depicted so much there because bats can fly. You don't really see the after effect of the tower in there. Right, we've got the star card. I love that. Absolutely love the moon card. I think that is beautiful. I think in cards like this, I think I prefer it more in cards like this and the sun card, where they're just really leaning into the pattern of what they can make the image be. Judgment with the angelic being and the trumpet and the faces of a new day and resurrection. World card. What do I think about all of the conical Madonna nakedness? I'm a little bit prudish, to be honest, with my taste in tarot decks. I like to feel that there is literally no male gaze in it, and probably there isn't. It's probably just me. I think I would have preferred just some lovely patterned tops on them. Okay, and now we go to the wands. So I love that Ace of Wands with the tulip on there. We've got the Two of Wands. Is this all going to be flowers? I hope so. Wow, now love these minors. That's the Four of Wands. I love that. The Five of Wands is a dandelion. I'm going to have to sit with these to kind of make the association between the flowers, because we've seen the guidebook, there are no associations or names of flowers. So whether this is just purely done for decorative purposes. Why flowers for wands? I suppose a garden is creative, planting flowers is creative, it's nature's creation, so there's that going on. They're flamboyant, they're colourful, a bit like the fiery nature of the wand suit. So we've got the Six of Wands. Those look like chrysanthemums or something. Are these supposed to be real flowers? I'm not sure. We've got the Seven of Wands. We've got the Eight of Wands. I like that. You can see the movement in growth. Nine of Wands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is 9 flowers. You've got that idea of the boundary coming down from the flowers. It almost looks like a 10 to me, where it's overburdened, but this is the 10, which that doesn't say overburdened as much as that one does to me. So okay, so we've got the Princess of Wands. So are these all going to be faces? We've got the Knight, we've got the Queen, and we have the King. Again, I do love the faces in here. I do like the artwork. so far the jury's out on just how much actual key tarot imagery there is in there. And I tell you what I'm doing, guys, because I've had a few weeks now away from tarot, my memory is so poor. I'm forgetting what the card meanings are, and I've done tarot for years now. That's how bad my memory is. So the Ace of Cups, I love that. That is like a proper kid's glass beaker, but it's refracting all of the light around it. So I like that. It kind of feels like picking up emotions from around you and then generating it out as well. You've got the Two of Cups with the arms entwined drinking. I love that one. You've got the Three of Cups, so different hands together. So there's a hand there and a hand there. This, I'm going to just assume that that's a pregnant lady's belly for that one to be on. You've got the Four of Cups, the golden cup that you really want out of reach, and but you've still got the three there that are different. So not to hold up the one thing that you haven't got, but to look at the things that you do. Look at all the eyes around them. I like that card. Right, the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups, you've got the three spilt cups, but you've still got the two left standing. I do like that. You've got these bat figures again. I wonder if it says anything in the guidebook about the bats on there. See anything about the bats iconography, but I have found symbols explained, and there is a page like this at the start of every minor arcana suit. It says the Suit of Cups rules the emotional realm and represents productivity and potential. Does it? I would have thought productivity would be more wands. Each card's number is represented by the number of cups shown in the artwork, with the exception of the Eight of Cups, which shows a moon as a figurative eighth cup. Okay. Cards in the Suit of Cups are bordered by diagonal stripes. Oh, so they are. And what are wands? So wands have thinner stripes. Let's see what it says about wands. So there's our page for the wands. It says the Suit of Wands addresses spirituality, personality and creativity, sometimes called rods, batons or clubs. This deck uses the term wands and represents the wands as flowers. Each card's number is represented by the number of blooms depicted, with the exception of the Four of Wands, which depicts four separate flowers to further underscore the card's meaning of bounty. And the Ten of Wands, Magnolia, features one large bloom with 10 petals. So that was that one. Cards in the Suit of Wands are bordered with stripes. Okay, so back to cups. We've got the Six of Cups, the Seven of Cups with all our choices within them. I like that. We've got the Eight of Cups, so this is the one where the moon represents the eighth cup that you're moving towards. There is some like crossover with the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery there, which I like. You've got the Nine of Cups, so all your cups lined up, and we have the Ten of Cups with the rainbow. So it says love or reversed infatuation. Okay, that isn't what I would normally class the Ten of Cups as either. My Ten of Cups is more about family and home and that sort of home life. So anyway, so we've got the Princess, we have the Knight, and we have the Queen, and we have the King. Right, so the Swords is next, and this is swords, and it looks like it is depicted by swords. We've got these blocks going around the edge of the swords. So let's see what our book says on that opening page of swords. The Suit of Swords represents a change of process, think, action, reaction and cause and effect. intellect, reasoning, science, the balance between knowledge and power, i.e. good versus evil. Each card's number is represented in the number of swords shown. Cards in the suit of swords are bordered with stripes that play off the dualistic meaning of the suit. Okay, so we've got the Ace of Swords. We've got the Two of Swords. I love that one. We've got a very traditional Three of Swords. We've got the rest of the Four of Swords. I like these. We've got the Five of Swords. Is that the hillside after the battle? We've got the Six of Swords. Yeah, I like that. You've got calm one side and you've got like almost like the choppy waters the other side. So I like that. We've got the Seven of Swords. Is that like a target on your back of the seven? We've got the Eight of Swords, which again works for me. And the Nine of Swords, that idea of the Nightmare card. I like that one. And again, the Ten of Swords. The sword suit for me seems to fit in more with what I would expect from the normal iconography of like a Rider-Waite deck. Absolutely love that Princess of Swords. We've got the Knight of Swords. We've got the Queen of Swords, which I love. And we have the King of Swords. Again, all feminine looking presentations of those court cards. And then finally, our Earth suit, we start with the Pentacles, and I'm glad to see some green in there. Let's just see what our guidebook presents as that opening page of the Pentacles. So we have this page for the Pentacles, sometimes called coins. This suit represents all things pertaining to finances and otherwise material matters like property, possessions and business. Each card's number is represented by the number of pentacles shown. Cards in the Pentacle suit are bordered with polka dots, just like the circular shape of the Pentacles. So that makes sense. I love this kind of balance in the sunglasses. I like the fact there's green in the sun for the Pentacles there. The Three of Pentacles, I like that reference to that kind of building and the archway, that references the Rider-Waite deck. The Four of Pentacles, that idea of keeping everything close to you. I like that. Although they're telling fibs because there are 12 pentacles in that. So we've got the Five of Pentacles, that idea of being left out in the cold. Five of Pentacles is one of my very favourite cards, and I absolutely love that one. I think that's my favourite depiction of a card so far in this deck. In fact, I think that card could redeem a lot of the others I'm not quite so sure about. Really love that. The Six of Pentacles, it says equity and tyranny are the key words for that. So that is actually really quite an interesting take on the Six of Pentacles, which I like. The idea of the merchant weighing up not only what he's got to give out, but also who's worthy of it. So there is a real scope for tyranny in that. I love that. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles. Again, I love that depiction. So we've got the idea of patience or anxiety. I think that is depicted very much in the colour use and the patterns. Like, this is very much patient waiting, and the person who is doing the waiting needs to be patient and not fall into anxiety. So I do like that as well. You've got somebody, it looks, practicing drawing the pentacles out. Love that one. Pentacles, I think, is my favourite. Pentacles and swords in this, which is surprising for me. I would have thought it would have been wands with flowers, but it isn't. And we've got the Nine of Pentacles, the woman in the luxury of her garden. I think that's depicted here by the clothing, by the pink hair, by the pathway through the bushes, by the jewellery as well. She's even got like the pentacles painted on her face. I like that depiction. And we've got the Ten of Pentacles, that idea of a legacy, a pathway to the castle on the hill. Great depiction. And then for the court cards, again, we've got the Princess, which is gorgeous. We have the Knight, a knight on the horse. Have they been on horses? I didn't really take that in. I'm going to have to look again. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. I love that. And we have the King of Pentacles. I love that one. So I think what I'm going to do to normalise the fact that it's okay to think, oh my gosh, I've forgotten the tarot. Literally, I've had about 6 weeks off my tarot practice. And honestly, I struggled to remember some of the tarot meanings. It's going to be age, it's going to be menopause, it's going to be special needs parenting, it's going to be lack of sleep. All of those things come into play for me, but can we please just normalise that sometimes that happens, and it doesn't mean we don't know what we're doing. I did find that pulled on my memory a lot harder than I would have liked. I'd forgotten some of those tarot card meanings. I had to sit here and and think, what is the meaning of that again? So I just want to normalise that for anybody out there that thinks it's just them. Perhaps you're going to tell me in the comment section, actually it's just you. I hope not. But if it isn't just me, I just want to normalise that for a moment. Now, because I forgot a lot of those meanings, I have just grabbed my yellow box Rider-Waite tarot deck. I'm going to put everything back in order, and I want to do one final flip through of these decks side by side. For a start, I think the colourways might go. I left this out to the side because that's my favourite card, but I think the colours are going to match. I think they might work together, which would be lovely to find a deck that is really screaming to pair with the traditional Rider-Waite. I'm going to flick through again. It will just help my memory to reset. Like I said, this is a tarot reset. Didn't realise it was a brain and memory reset as well. There you go. I'm just going to blame it on spring. Just put them all back in order. I'm just going to flick through and see what I think about them next to each other. So you can see we've got the white flower in both of those. We've got the infinity symbol here. We've got all the things on the table. We've got a flower being held rather than like that other symbology. We've got the High Priestess with the curtain with the pomegranates on. That's nice. I really like that. And we've got the two books with the two pillars represented there. I like that. That isn't something that I'd picked up on before, so I like that one. We've got the shield. We've got the stars, which I noticed before. We've got the water coming down. Okay, the Emperor. We've got the ball being held here. Sure, it's not called the ball. We've got this symbol here mirrored, and again look, we've got the symbols in the clothing which I picked up on before, and the keys which I liked. We've got the hand symbol there which I liked. The Lovers, the kind of hair kind of mirrors the angel's wings, doesn't it? And you can see this star cloth, that star background is very, very similar. So the strange dog-like creature is wearing a collar in this one, which is slightly different. Again, we've got the Hermit. Don't know what this is coming down here. I'm not sure what that is. The Wheel of Fortune. We've got like the uneven scales and the dagger pointing down rather than the sword pointing up. The Hanged Man and the Traitor. Still not sure about that. I'm also not sure. This is Miss Prude coming out as well. The fishnet tights with the bean tied up. It kind of smacks a little bit of bondage to me. But I suppose there's red tights there, but it's not suspenders and fishnets, is it? I do love that Death card. You've got the two towers here also in the background there. I love that Death card. So we've got Temperance again. Yeah, I like the Devil card. So lots and lots of similarities. We don't have the crown coming off the tower there. We've got the star card. We've got the towers represented by 2 circles here. There is no sort of crab lobster coming out. The sun is a lot more pictorial. I do like the Judgment card. I love all the animals around the edge of the world card. I love that. Okay, let's go into our wands. I like the 4. You've kind of got this castle in the background, which is like a real cartoony version of the buildings in the background of that. I do really like that in the 4. Have you got 4 flowers? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you do have 4. Not quite so obvious. Right, the dandelion head for the 5. So it's like a battle of who comes away on top, who gets away first to plant their wishes, perhaps. I see dandelions more of like getting your wish, not like a battle as such, but I suppose you could view that as like seeds battling for a place to land. So the 6, that triumphant march home, I suppose that could be like the bouquet, the big bouquet picked. You've got the 7. I hadn't noticed actually that all of those strands going up do look like that sort of protective element. The movement of the 8, yeah, we spoke about that one. Yeah, can you see now it's next to each other? I suppose it does kind of follow where the guy is standing would be the stem. Yeah, kind of. And then the overwhelm of the 10, and you've got the page. We've got the knight. I did look at the knights, and it is only the Knight of Pentacles that is on the horse. I thought it was. And of course, it's a princess, not the page. So princess, knight, queen, and king. I don't know whether I said that before. We've got the queen. Is there any cat in there? There is no cat in there, but you've got kind of like sunflowery type flowers in there. Is there a salamander anywhere? No, there isn't. That's a shame, I think. So we've got the cups. Yeah, I liked the cups. I like this again. I like that. Are they putting bats just on the ones that look like Dracula or Dracula's tower? I wonder if it's as cartoony as that. I think these flowers, when you see them next to each other, do look very much like the flowers that are in the cups on the Rider-Waite. So again, you've got all the different things going on. They're not the same items in the cups as on the 7. You've got the walking away, the cups on top of each other, the moon in the background. I love that one. You've got all your cups lined up in a row, your ta-da moment. And you've got the rainbow represented in that, which again, I love. So the page or the princess, you don't have the fish, you have the butterfly in the cup. See, again, the knight not on the horse here. I prefer my knights pointing that way, apart from the Knight of Swords. I like that pointing the other way. We've got the Queen of Cups. I would like to have seen more water represented there. And the King of Cups. Again, I think I just would have liked to have seen more water represented. Okay, the swords. Now this looks very much like it's hitting the ground. I would have liked that more in the air, more cloud-like. The 2. Yeah, just very stylised. The 3, very stylised. Love that 4. For me, that really works. So you've got the cloud-like patterns in the 4. Again, look, the 5 into the earth. I would have preferred them more in the sky or even with next to the water. But I suppose this looks like patches of blood to represent the battle that's just gone on. The 6, I would have liked the background more blue for that, but I kind of get it. The 7, like stealing away. Yeah, this just makes me think of a target on your back for the 7. The 8, I like the 8. The 9, yeah, I like the 9. The 10, I like the 10. I like the pink tears. I love the Princess of Swords. See, the Knight of Swords, I love the Knight of Swords facing in the same direction as the Rider-Waite, but that's just for personal reasons. The Queen of Swords, I think she's a great Queen of Swords. And the King of Swords with the shield, I like that idea of the shield of truth going on with the King. Pentacles, I'm fine with the Pentacles. Love the 2 of Pentacles. I love that 3. I love that 4. I absolutely love that 5. I think that's brilliantly done. Love that. I love that 6 as well. I think that's a brilliant depiction of the merchant in the 6. I think that's a great depiction of the 7 as well. Love that depiction of the 8. She's actually trying to draw the pentacles. Again, I love that depiction of the 9. Yeah, the 10 I love. I love that page and the princess. Look, the Knight of Pentacles is the only one on a horse. And the Queen I love. And the King. So that's brilliant. Do you know what I'm going to do, guys? I think I'm going to keep these out and work with these 2 decks together for a week. I don't want to anymore kind of come like just keep opening new decks and saying here's another new deck, here's a haul, here's a declutter. I just don't want to do that. I want to work with the decks that I've got. So I'm going to keep this out for a week and I'm going to work with it, but I'm going to put it with the Rider-Waite and I'm going to work with the 2 together. But I'm excited. I think I love it. Love that card. Some things in there that made me question, but I think overall I love it. So tell me what you think. I'd love to know what you think. So that's Gentle Thrills Tarot. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I hope you enjoyed that. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.